So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our post-draft prospect rebuild series, and today it's Rob Dillingham to the Minnesota Timberwolves. With the 8th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs selected Rob Dillingham out of Kentucky. They then went ahead and traded him away to the Minnesota Timberwolves, first-round pick in 2031 and a pick swap in 2030. So they're trading like 14-year-olds right now. But no, this is a very interesting trade. Of course, at the point guard position right now for the Timberwolves is Mike Conley. Getting up there in age, certainly not a long-term solution in a 5-year rebuild. They go ahead and make the deal with the Spurs, land themselves Rob Dillingham, who I think has quite a bit of upside next to Anthony Edwards. We'll talk more about this Timberwolves team and the fantastic season they just had last year, of course, building upon that and hopefully eventually getting this team a championship. Once we get into the rebuild, of course, 5-year rebuild today. That's how it's been with all these post-draft prospect rebuilds. What I need from you guys right now is some video ideas. Of course, we are approaching August, slowly but surely. And August is basically the worst month of a 2K content creator, if you will, because there's not a lot of moving pieces around the NBA. And of course, it's right before the new 2K game comes out. So a little while to go on that. I want to hear what you guys want to see down below. Let's get into this one. We are technically still here in off-season number 1, but this is going to be a 5-year rebuild. We'll have 4 full off-seasons and, of course, whatever we can kind of scrap out at the beginning of this first one right here. So let's talk about this Timberwolves roster. Obviously, this was a team, made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals last year. Of course, did not end up beating the Dallas Mavericks, lost in 5 games, but this is a young, promising team, and I say young kind of with air quotes because I'm really just talking about Anthony Edwards, of course, Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, both certainly established players in this league, but this is a team that I really think can once again be back and make some noise next year. They obviously have their entire core kind of locked in for the long haul. I really like the way this team's constructed. They play defense. Anthony Edwards, of course, is electric. Let's just go ahead and start talking about it. So Mike Conley, 36 years old, certainly not going to be here the entire 5 years of this rebuild. Now, year 1, he's going to be my starting point guard. That's pretty much already figured out. We've already solidified that as my guy. Moving forward after that, though, I think we can maybe take a look at Rob Dillingham, who, of course, is the focus of today's video and the guy that I am going to try to eventually get into that starting nod. So I don't know why his morale's down. That's just 2K on their BS, but he's a 73 overall at 19 years of age. Certainly somebody I want to continue to develop as much as possible. Head over to the shooting guard spot. Not really enough good things you can say about Anthony Edwards. He is certainly one of the faces of the NBA, if you will. I know many people these days are into that kind of conversation, that in the aura of Anthony Edwards, if you will, which that's not really what I'm into, but I just think he's a fantastic basketball player. Very excited to continue watching him grow. Mr. Baby Jordan over here. All right, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 26 years old. Definitely going to be a rotation piece for me. Not sure if I'll be playing him at the backup 2, the backup 3, whatever it's going to be. He'll definitely be getting some minutes. I still can't believe that the Timberwolves were able to nab Terrence Shannon Jr. at the end of round 1. I mean, if they just, what? I think the Timberwolves hit an absolute home run in the NBA draft, and I give them quite a bit of credit because I think he can be very, very good for them for a very long time. Small forward spot, we got Jaden McDaniels here. Definitely making a lot of money. Obviously, a tremendously impactful defensive player. Is not going to give you, 25, 30 points a game, but he's certainly a talented enough piece where I think the contract is worth it. He's somebody at only 23 years old we can continue to build around. They brought in Joe Ingles on a 1-year deal. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with him here today. He's at a 72 overall right now. He's 36. He's probably just going to be a bench guy if I'm being completely honest with you. You got Josh Minott, who, unlike Joe Ingles, is young. Similar overall, but he's 15 years younger. And then they brought in PJ Dozier on a 1-year deal as well. So just to be completely honest with you, I don't love any of the backup small forward options we have right now. That's certainly something we could continue to look at in terms of an upgrade at some point. But obviously McDaniels is my guy there. Karl-Anthony Towns. A lot of people are very not so into Karl-Anthony Towns. Some people are very into Karl-Anthony Towns. He can be very hit or miss, and I understand that. Guy can go for like 60 one night, and the next night he cannot find water from a boat. It's very frustrating to watch at times, but I still think he's very, very talented, and he's going to be one of the key pieces here today. Leonard Miller is only 20. I have no idea what we're going to do with this young man. He certainly could develop into a rotation piece at some point. I just don't know if in a year 1 where I'm trying to contend, that's exactly what I want to, try to do. So we'll figure it out. And then the center spot, Rudy Gobert. Everybody's got varying opinions on Rudy Gobert. Most people hate him. It's fine. He obviously is not the most gifted offensive player in the world, but he is certainly one of the most gifted defensive players in the world. So I'm going to ride it out with Rudy as long as this game will let me. I know he is making a lot of money, and of course, at 32 years old, certainly something to keep an eye on. Brought in Naz Reid, the former he is here, former 6th Man of the Year winner. I am very, very excited to have him on this team. He's going to be my 6th man in today's video, and I'm just going to continue to work with him because I love Naz Reid. And then Luka Garza I brought back on a 2-year deal. All right, that is the team. Of course, on paper, it may not be the most talented team in the world, but there is certainly a lot to work with. And I think we're going to try to make 1 or 2 upgrades. I'm almost positive 99% of you are very much aware of this, but I always like to just let everybody know if this is your first time watching one of my videos, this is not a realistic rebuild. Cool? All on the same page? Got it. We're making a deal with the Miami Heat. Luka Garza, Josh Minott going over there. We have a desperate need for a backup power forward. We discussed a possibility of maybe Leonard Miller getting a little bit of run behind Karl Anthony Towns, but on a team that can truly be competitive and I truly believe could win a championship, I want to be as well-rounded everywhere as possible. So acquiring Haywood Highsmith, obviously certainly a serviceable backup power forward, not giving up a single draft pick, and he's on a multi-year contract, really feels like a good start to this video. So I honestly don't know if there's any other trades. We have Conley, we have Dillingham. I'm playing Terrence Shannon Jr. behind Anthony Edwards. I think Terrence Shannon Jr. can quite literally be very good for a very long time. I moved Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the backup 3. That kind of solved our problem there, of course. Really wasn't looking forward to running one of Ingles or Dozier or Minott. So we're just going to have Nickeil Alexander-Walker back up McDaniels. And then obviously Highsmith and Towns, Gobert, and Reed. So that's the team, right? I mean, there's no reason to really force anything else. I think there's clearly enough talent here for us to be very competitive, and I look forward to setting this rotation. We are ready to go for our first season here in Minnesota. As I mentioned, on paper, this team certainly looks talented enough. I don't know if they're the most talented, but we are a group that fits very well together, and I really do genuinely think plays the right style of basketball. So Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. Really not a lot of surprises in that 1 through 5. I don't think anybody's going to be questioning too much of that. The bench unit will be led by Naz Reid, of course, the reigning Sixth Man of the Year award winner. Want to get him as many minutes as possible. You got Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Rob Dillingham is playing more minutes than I would traditionally play, a 73 overall backup point guard, and that is for a couple reasons. First and foremost, this is his video, and then second, and maybe even more importantly, he eventually is going to be taking over at the point guard spot. So we don't want to hinder that development, at least we want to try to progress him as much as we possibly can. Brought in Haywood Highsmith as well, and then Terrence Shannon Jr. rounding out the 10-man rotation. So I like it. I think this can easily be a top 3 seed if everything goes according to plan, and hopefully that does. I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. Second career MVP for Joel Embiid here at the end of year number 1. We finished with a record of 56-26. I will 1000% take that, considering we really haven't made many big moves, and this is a team that is hopefully going to be a serious contender in the playoffs. Chet, you can ignore that. Russell Westbrook, your 6th man. Wemby's your depoy. Josh Giddey, most improved in Chicago. Luka, your clutch player of the year, and Thibs, head coach of the New York Knicks. 61-21 takes home coach of the year. All right, we are the 1 seed here in the West. I wasn't really sure exactly where that fell, but the 1 seed is certainly something I'm going to take, and it was the 3rd best record in all of basketball. Let's dive into the numbers a little bit. How did everybody play? Anthony Edwards was fantastic, about 32 points a game, 5.5 boards, about 3 assists, 56% from the field. He was 44% from 3. Beautiful. It truly is. Karl Anthony Towns, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert. You got Conley, McDaniels, Alexander Walker, Terrence Shannon, Rob Dillingham, and then Haywood Highsmith. Rebounds, we were led by Gobert, and assists was Conley. So, round 1, we're matching up with the defending Western Conference champions in a rematch of the West Finals from last year, who have certainly made some changes. They now have Draymond Green, also brought in Markelle Fultz, somehow still have PJ Washington and Klay Thompson. Who'd they give up to get Draymond? I don't really know, but they did, so here goes nothing. I'm not really sure that's a play-in team. We dropped the first 2. Oh, my God. Not the start I was looking for. Now, we are fighting back, and we get bounced. Bounced in 6. Now, I'm not saying it's absolutely terrible that we lost to that Dallas team. They are pretty good. They're the defending Western Conference champions, and they've only gotten better. But for that to really be a first-round matchup is just a true indication of how goddamn annoying this conference is. It is a Denver Nuggets and a Cleveland Cavaliers finals, and the Nuggets end up winning their 2nd in 3 years. Nikola Jokic, your finals MVP. Okay, now it is time for our first full offseason. We're seeing some retirements here. Ooh, Mike Conley retired. Shit. Okay. Well, I wasn't really, planning on that. My plan was always that, have Conley either move to a bench role or trade him. Unfortunately, him retiring kind of hurts because I just lose an asset basically for nothing. It's fine. It would feel a little too cheesy for me to just override his retirement and then immediately trade him, right? It's not really it. That's not really it. All right, LeBron and CP3 both entering the Hall of Fame. See a bunch of jersey retirements. Draft lottery, I don't think we're going to have anything here that's going to really be in play for us. So let's sim through it. How did the Lakers get what? Okay. All right. Okay. Cooper Flag's really going to be a Laker. All right. Chris Finch is a fantastic head coach. He is obviously going to stay on as our guy, even if we are not very happy with our playoff results from last year. We do not have our own first-round pick. Of course, many of these picks are tied up in deals, with the Utah Jazz, for Rudy Gobert, some other things. We do have the 5th overall pick in round 2, though, and honestly, I will use it just because we don't have a lot of other picks. I don't know. I'm going to take one of Jaren Stevenson or Donovan Freeman. They are both listed as power forwards. Again, they're both C overalls according to our scouting department. So I don't really know. I don't really know either of these guys. Freeman looks like he's a little bit higher in some of the rankings. So why the hell not? I don't know. Welcome to Minnesota. All right, my goal 73 overall. Not bad value. My goal right now is to figure out what I want to do with the entirety of this team. I think there's a couple different things we can do to improve the team, because certainly it's fun to be, 56 wins, 1 seed in the West, but can't really just bank on that moving forward. Jalen Clark, we're good there. Okay, free agency. Certainly we're not a group that has a lot of money. Didn't Naz Reid sign a contract extension? Am I making that up? One sec. I guess I am making it up. I don't know why I thought Naz Reid signed a contract extension, but he did not. He had a player option for this upcoming season, which he obviously declined. So we're going to do everything in our power to extend him. I'd like to bring back Alexander Walker as well. And we're basically good there. We got our 2, biggest, most important guys. So now I'm thinking of a trade, right? I think there is something out there that we have to do. I am and want to start Rob Dillingham next year. It's good to see him, continue to develop. Some of these numbers weren't exactly my favorite thing in the world. The shooting splits aren't necessarily great. But I think there is a lot of room for improvement there. So I do want to try to find somebody to be his backup. I think there is probably one other move out there, though. Blockbuster trade coming with the Utah Jazz. Yes, we are sending Rudy back to Utah. I don't have a problem with Rudy Gobert or the way he played, but ultimately he is one of those guys that is way more impactful in real life than he is in 2K. And ultimately, if the Jazz want him back and they want to offer me Lauri Markkanen and Grant Williams, honestly, I'm going to take it. So that's the deal. I know some Timberwolves fans might not be happy with this deal, but we're also getting significantly younger, and we are not having an expiring contract of Rudy Gobert. So I'm 1,000% going to take that deal. If you're wondering how that's all going to work out, I'm just going to slide Markkanen in at the 3. He's just going to, kind of force, if you will, McDaniels to come off the bench. And it does leave us with a little bit of a logjam, I would say, at our backup 2-guard spot now, but that's not what I meant to do. But I think we're in an overall good spot, right? I'd rather have more assets than less. So debating what I want to do with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I know we legitimately just brought him back. I like Terrence Shannon Jr., though, and I think he's going to be really, really good. Grant Williams was not going to be long for this team. We're going to make a deal here with the Orlando Magic and acquire Mo Wagner. He is an expiring deal, but ultimately he's just somebody I'll re-sign. Grant Williams, Leonard Miller, both going over to Orlando, and of course adding Mo Wagner to this team now gives us a new backup center. My other piece for moving Gobert, or my other reason, if you will, is that I think Naz Reid is at the point in his career where I don't want to say he's too good to be a sixth man, but he's too good to be a sixth man, right? He deserves to be in a starting lineup somewhere. He is certainly being paid like somebody who's going to be in a starting lineup, and I want to make the most of his opportunity. I like Naz Reid. I do. So Mo Wagner and him are going to be my 2 centers now. Power forward spot. We just drafted Donovan Freeman, 5th overall pick in round 2. Higher overall than we expected. He's going to get a little bit of run there. I do kind of feel bad for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I just don't really know what to do with him. If I wasn't so high on Terrence Shannon Jr., I would probably move Nickeil Alexander-Walker back to the 2, but it's just the unfortunate position we kind of find ourselves in right now. I'm actually going to take a flyer on Talen Horton-Tucker. I'm not super high on him, but he's relatively young to the point where maybe there's a little something there. I don't know. I'm sick of signing the same guys every single video, so why not mix it up? Last year, we had an absolutely fantastic regular season. We were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference after winning 56 games, and then we lost in round 1 to an 8 seed. That 8 seed was the, Dallas Mavericks, who eventually went on to be in the Western Conference Finals again, but you get my point. There's not really a scenario out there that a 1 seed should lose to an 8 seed. It's going to be Rob Dillingham. Anthony Edwards obviously brought in Lauri Markkanen, got Karl-Anthony Towns and Naz Reid. This is one very, very tall starting lineup. You got McDaniels now coming off the bench in a 6-man capacity. We brought in Mo Wagner to be our backup center. Terrence Shannon Jr. is going to continue to get minutes. Maybe it's the wrong decision over Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but it's the one we are making. Talen Horton-Tucker, and then Donovan Freeman, who we drafted in round 2. So, yeah, it's shitty that he's just sitting here now, especially after we brought him back. But it's just kind of the situation we are in right now. I'd rather have too much depth than too little. So that's where we're at. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. I'm really hoping I didn't screw this up. I would say frustrating is a good way to describe our second season here in Minnesota. We weren't terrible, but we were 47-35, which is, of course, 9 games worse than we were last year. I may have been wrong. Maybe Rudy Gobert was legitimately that important. I personally didn't see it here in 2K anyways, but we'll find out. SJ is your MVP. Cooper Flag did go number 1 overall to the Lakers. Of course, I'm not really sure how the Lakers got the number 1 overall pick, but they did. Zar Thompson, your 6th man of the year, is in Detroit. Wemby, a depoy once again. Stephon Castle, most improved. Trae Young, clutch player of the year, and 60 wins. Okay, maybe this was just a weird season all around, right? 60 wins? Seems legit. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. We ended up as the 4 seed, so all things considered, it's not terrible. We're going to be matching up with the San Antonio Spurs in round 1, and here's a look at the East that is now led by the fucking Pistons. Give me a break. All right, it is Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Larry Market, and Naz Reid. I mean, of course, Taylor and Tucker. Not bad. Wagner, Shannon Jr. What the hell is going on with Rob Dillingham? Oh, wow. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I was looking for a little more, right? I mean, we obviously inserted him into the starting lineup. We were hoping he would take, significant steps of improvement. That obviously is not the case. The shooting, the 3-point percentage is around a little bit worse than what it was last year. Field goal percentage is up a couple ticks. Yeah, I don't know. Something a little off right now. I mean, Dillingham did lead us in assists, but clearly this is not a team that moves the basketball very well. It is us and the Spurs here. Castle, Vassell, Okoro, Sohan, Wembanyama. They brought in Miles Turner, got Keldon Johnson, Malachi Branham. Certainly a lot of quality depth there in San Antonio. We first split the first 2, lose game 3, lose game 4. Oh my God. Okay. Disappointing. Yeah, there's something a little off, right? What the fuck is going on with Rob Dillingham? I don't know. I mean, I expected more, and obviously that is not the case. So some other big decisions will be made this offseason. It is going to be a Pistons. Who's the fuck's in... What? Okay, I don't even know. Spurs won it all. Wemby, your finals MVP. Very, very weird video so far. We are now entering our 3rd offseason. Gordon Hayward, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kevin Love, all calling it a career. We're at a point right now in this video where we certainly need to consider all options. They all need to be on the table, right? I mean, we have Anthony Edwards here. He is absolutely fantastic, and we need to maximize this. Oh, good. Give the Thunder 2 top draft picks. We have some work to do. Chris Finch, I'm still happy with the ratings are fine. If we have one more shitty year where the team should be a lot better, we are certainly going to have to make some very, very big decisions. So 4th overall pick in round 2. We got good value at, our 5th overall pick in round 2 last year. Might as well do the same thing here. Patrick Mbogo. Ooh, actually not bad. Let's take him because I'm pretty sure Wagner expired anyways. 71 overall. Not really that great. Dillingham, Shannon Jr., Freeman, all coming back. Now, we have some decisions to make. I think it is time to maybe consider one sort of blockbuster upgrade. I'm not exactly sure what that is going to be. Brought back Mo Wagner, but once I find that trade, you guys will obviously see it. I think it's very clear that the Lowry Markkanen addition that we made last offseason after the Rudy Gobert trade with the Utah Jazz ultimately did not really work out, right? It's an awkward fit. Maybe it's just not really, what everybody needs. It's not in everybody's best interest. We're going to try to make a deal here with Denver and land ourselves Jamal Murray. The unfortunate reality of this point in the video is that although this is Rob Dillingham's video, this is his rebuild, it doesn't mean just because he was drafted 8th overall that he's going to be an NBA star. It's unfortunate, but it is actually what happens occasionally from time to time. So my thought would be just have him come off the bench. I know the overall is going to continue to go up. I know he's very, very young, but this is a contending team, and this is a team that has not been out of the first round, and we have to make some decisions. So I'd throw in Taylor Horton Tucker as well. They want Mo Wagner. They'll give me Julian Strawther. I actually want to keep Mo Wagner. I will give you Mbogo, though. You want a first for Ooh. I'll do it. All right, welcome to the team, Julian Strawther, who now we just acquired, and I think actually may get some backup minutes at the backup 3. So, yeah, I'm just going to probably move on from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I know we kind of finally cleared up some minutes for him just for him to get traded, but I'll take the draft pick because it's certainly needed at this point in time. So, let's see. Strawther, 6'6", Terrence Shannon, 6'5". Yeah, I'll just play him at the backup 3. All right, we now have a new look, 10-man rotation. I will see you guys at the start of year number 3. Another crazy offseason with another blockbuster trade. This time we added Jamal Murray to be the new backcourt mate next to Anthony Edwards. Of course, we are a little bit upset and a little bit sad that it just does not seem to be working out for Rob Dillingham. And although I do think it is relatively stupid to give up on players at such a young age, we're trying to win championships. We are clearly good enough, and the time is now. So we made a big decision, added Jamal Murray. It is him and Anthony Edwards in the backcourt. Now have Jaden McDaniels back in this starting five. Still got Karl-Anthony Towns and Naz Reid as my 4 and my 5. I think the bench unit's a little stronger here as well. You got Strother, who we brought in that deal with Denver. He's going to be my new 6th man. You got Rob Dillingham, who was still getting decent minutes, 18 a night, my backup point guard. Got Mo Wagner, Terrence Shannon Jr., and then Donovan Freeman. So that's where we're at, right? I mean, again, on paper, for the 3rd year in a row, we are very, very good. But we have yet to win a playoff series, and that is just not acceptable. So I will see you guys at the end of year 3 here in Minnesota. Tyrese Halliburton takes home his first career MVP here at the end of our 3rd season. We go 54-28. It is an improvement from last year. It is not an improvement from year 1, but it is a step back in the right direction, hopefully. Cameron Boozer, your Rookie of the Year. He is a Charlotte Hornet. Nolan Traore, your 6th Man of the Year in Brooklyn. Just rename the award after Wemby. Donovan Clingan, Most Improved. Ja Morant, your Clutch Player of the Year. 60-22 over there in Indiana. Okay, let's check it out. We are a 3 seed. We're going to be facing the New Orleans Pelicans in round 1. Again, it's an improvement from last year. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but I'll take it. Anthony Edwards, Jamal Murray, Karl-Anthony Towns, Reid, Strother, McDaniels, Wagner, Terrence Shannon Jr., Rob Dillingham, Freeman. All right, rebounds per game led by Towns, and assists was Jamal Murray. We are taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's take a look at their team. Dyson Daniels, DeJounte Murray, Brandon Ingram, Zion. You got Misi in there. Rob Will, my GOAT. Moody. You got Marcus. How many fucking former Celtics do you need? All right. A lot of depth there in Minnesota. They are definitely a good team. We're up 3-0 somehow, though, and we sweep them? That's the team we sweep? Okay. Well, we finally won a playoff series. We are now facing a 7-seed Grizzlies, who've added Chris Middleton and Shai Abaje now here, Jalen Smith. They upset the Thunder. That is big because, of course, the Thunder are legitimately the biggest pain in the ass in all of this. And are we... So now we want to dominate? Now is the time? Okay. Okay, it is us and the Dallas Mavericks here. This is a team that beat us in year 1 as a play-in team. Of course, they have one of the best player in the world in Luka Doncic. Kyrie Irving's incredible himself. Can we get it done? Split the first 2 on the road. Win game 3 at home. Lose game 4. Lose 5. Lose 6. These fucking Dallas Mavericks. Fuck off, please. Okay, now we are entering off-season number 4, technically, before year number 4. We are at a point where I don't really think many major changes are needed because we're close, right? I mean, we finally kind of broke through a little bit in the playoffs, and we have gotten closer and closer to where we eventually want to be. It is the Wizards, Nets, Warriors, Magic, and Bulls as your top 5. Let's take a look at staff signing. Chris Finch has 1 year left. If we have a really shitty year next year, then he's not going to come back. I'll leave it at that. The ratings are just so good. I don't think I'm going to find anybody better there. And it is tough to fire a coach after a Western Conference Finals appearance. Not that I wanted to, I'm just saying. We have no draft picks. I'm not going to trade into the draft. Rob Dillingham, Terrence Shannon Jr. are both going to be brought back on the 4th and final year of their team options. Donovan Freeman, Julian Strother, both entering restricted free agency. I'd certainly like to retain both of them. Strother is the only one I have bird rights on, though, so it's going to let me bring him back, and then technically, because Freeman's restricted, I will be able to match whatever he gets. Just the logic of 2K. I know it's a little broken, but we're just going to match whatever he gets, and then I got to look around. Do I want to keep this entire thing intact? I feel like I might have to trade Terrence Shannon Jr. I don't really want to trade Terrence Shannon Jr., but I think I need an upgrade. I'm obviously much higher on him in real life than 2K is in this game, and unfortunately, I just want to make an upgrade and try to be the best possible at every single position. So I'm going to look. I'm not going to force the issue too much, but if there's nothing here, then there's nothing here. But I just want to glance. Johnny Furphy, I mean, it's not terrible. It's not. I may have to do that. Now, I am going to do it. Let me just clarify, this is a 2K trade that I'm making. This is not a real-life trade that I would ever make. Cool. All right, now I'm just going to wait on Freeman, and I will just see you guys at the start of year 4. It is year 4 here in Minnesota. Last year we made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals after 2 initial really disappointing playoff runs. Of course, it was a step in the eventual direction we want to find ourselves in, but we did not get all the way to the finish line. We did not make many major changes this offseason. It is Jamal Murray, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Mr. Naz Reid. Bench unit still going to be led by Julian Strother. You see Rob Dillingham now going up a few overalls. It's just the numbers, man. They're not great, and it's tough. Mo Wagner, my backup center. Donovan Freeman ended up accepting his qualifying offer, and then we brought in Johnny Furphy, who I don't really know what I'm going to do with. So I will see you guys at the end of year number 4. This man is going to continue to torture me throughout the rest of this video, isn't he? It's an MVP for Luka Doncic. We go 54-28. I'm pretty sure that's the same record we had. What is it, year 3? I don't know. Whatever. Tyron Stokes, Rookie of the Year. Hugo Gonzalez, Wembanyama. I mean, this is all cool and well, but I just don't give a shit. I want to win, and I'm really hoping that we are good enough for a fucking 4 seed, but this West is so goddamn ridiculous, and it's so annoying. Where are these stats? Points per game. It was Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Murray, Reed, Strother. You get it. You get the point. Rebounds led by Towns. Assists was Jamal Murray. Okay, us and the Lakers here. Round 1. Lonzo Ball is now back in L.A. Got Reeves, Isaac Okoro, of course, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis. Very interesting front court. Okay, quick good start for us. 2-0 lead. We do win game 3 as well, and we sweep. Okay, good start. Now here comes a real challenge. Because, oh my God, that's insane. I'm just going to hope and pray that it's possible. We can... Not good enough. All right, well, major changes coming this offseason. We have officially, just never even been to a finals yet. I cannot remember the last time I did a 5-year prospect rebuild that I hadn't been to the finals before the 5th season. And funny enough, out of all, 7 others before this, post-draft prospect rebuilds we've done, this is by far, not even close, the best starting team that I've had. So, one of those days, I guess. It really is. Let's sim through the lottery. We are projected the 4th overall pick from the Chicago Bulls. Is that... Oh, no, it is not protected. We actually do have the 2nd overall pick. Okay, cool. Staff signing. We're moving on. I'm going to bring in... Well, he's just going to get blocked. I cannot logically talk myself into Doc Rivers. The problem is, I can go after Stauffer, but I'm pretty sure they're just going to block it anyways. Jason Kidd's a shot doctor for the 76ers. Who else is here? I'm just curious. I could just bring back Chris Finch because everybody else here is just theoretic. Everybody else here, respectfully, just looks like a bum. Just Thiago Splitter. Oh my God. Kenny Atkinson. There's no possible way I can actually bring back Chris Finch, right? I can't. And I'm certainly not bringing in Doc Rivers. So I don't know who Lucas is, but I'll offer him a contract. And then my final offer, I guess, will be, where the hell is he? It's just going to be Jason Kidd. I don't know where he is. What was he? I don't really care. Yep, blocked. This game is pissing me off today. It really is. Can I please go out and get Jason Kidd? Is everybody just going to block me? This is so annoying. Oh, man. Ime's sitting here too. Why? What? No, fuck you. I'm going to punch this fucking monitor. That's what I'm going to do. This game is pissing me off so badly today. It really is. Oh, my God. I don't really care. Bring in anybody. I don't know. Sure. Why not? No. Oh, I hit yes. Whatever. All right. Up to the draft. Let's see what we got. We have the 2nd overall pick. I'm probably going to trade it. Blockbuster deal coming here with the Miami Heat. I'm not really even sure what I'm doing anymore at this point, but we are landing ourselves Mr. Bam Adebayo and Rui Hachimura for Jaden McDaniels, Mo Wagner, and the 2nd overall pick. I haven't really felt Jaden McDaniels' impact so far throughout this video. His overall hasn't moved at all. His offensive numbers obviously are not great, but we're adding Bam. I don't know what this means for the future of Naz Reid or really anybody else in this team, but I had to do something. And as we enter the final regular season, we haven't even been to the finals yet, so I am hopeful that this will be the year. I don't know who Blake Wilson is, but sure, welcome to Minnesota out of England. Okay, he is a 74 overall. Team player options, Karl Anthony Towns had a $0 player option, and Naz Reid as well declines his option. Oh boy, everybody's just a free agent. Everybody. I mean, Zion's here. We just don't have any money. Okay, what I'm going to do, Naz Reid has 6 offers. None of them are really real, so pay him. Let's pay Towns, and then let me pay... How much does Dillingham want? $27 million. You think you've played well enough to get $27 million annually? Do you? God bless 2K. I'm going to wait until after just to make sure. If I lose Freeman or Furphy, it's not the end of the world. I do not want to lose one of these guys, though. Okay, cool. Freeman wants about $14 million annually, and then Furphy is still restricted, but we'll figure that out. Shout out to the Orlando Magic. I don't know why they're pretty much always willing to trade Paolo Banchero, but I am certainly going to take advantage of their stupidity, and we're going to pick up Paolo. Now, if I'm going to run Paolo at the 3, I mean, that probably makes the most logical sense. I know it, not exactly because they're not even similar players, but similar vibes almost of maybe Lauri Markkanen, that failed experiment. So I am a little nervous about it, but I think it is going to work out. I really do. So my goal right now is to find myself a new backup center. Obviously did not love losing out on Naz Reid, but it's a decision that we kind of had to make, right? So, oh boy, these are not elite names at all. I guess Charles Bassey can suffice for a year. And then Furphy's restricted, so hypothetically I should be able to match whatever he gets, and I'll just see you guys at the start of year 5. I thought Johnny Furphy was restricted. He clearly was not, so now we're going to have to make a trade here with the Portland Trailblazers and land us one Lonnie Walker. He is going to be coming off a season where he averaged 12.5 points a game. He's certainly going to be good enough to be a plug-and-play off the bench. If this team isn't good enough, I don't really know what is. I mean, look at this God squad that we have basically assembled in this starting 5. It is Jamal Murray, Anthony Edwards, Paolo Banchero, Karl Anthony Towns, and Bam Adebayo. I mean, it's 2K on their BS if this isn't good enough. Dillingham will now take over as a 6th man. You got Strother, Donovan Freeman, Lonnie Walker, and Charles Bassey. I will see you all at the end of year 5. 34 points a game for Cooper Flagg. He's your MVP. More importantly, we have our best season yet. We go 64-18. I mean, of course we do. Look at the fucking team we've constructed. Yeah, Cooper Flagg. Isaac Hayes, Rookie of the Year. Dylan Harper, Wembanyama, Darius Acuff Jr., Cooper Flagg, and then Frank Baker, whoever the hell this guy is, who we signed to be our head coach. He's your coach of the year. All right, it is time for our final playoff run. I mean, we are a 1 seed here with 3 63-plus win teams. Holy shit. The good news is that, you know what? Maybe this is finally the team that gets us over that final little hump that can hopefully get a championship, because we've yet to make a finals. It is us and the Sacramento Kings here. Stephon Castle, Herb Jones, Ethan Kimmy, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. I think we're just a lot better than them. I'm not going to lie. 2K, oh my God. We've had a lot of issues with the Dallas Mavericks so far. They have clearly been a very big thorn in our side. They beat us, I believe, both of the times that we faced them so far. So hopefully it is finally time for a little revenge. Up 3-0. We sweep them? Okay. Now it is us and the Houston Rockets here. They were a 63-win team themselves. We are meeting them in the Western Conference Finals. They have a lot of depth here and a lot of talent. So here goes nothing in the West. Up 2-0. They do win Game 3 and Game 4 and Game 5. Okay. Oh, wow. We actually won. And we are now taking on Zion in the Washington Wizards. Caden Boozer, Elijah Arenas, Ben Mathurin, Tari Eason. You got Zion at the center position. Interesting. I think we are clearly the better team, and hopefully we can go out and prove that. Up 3-0. Thank you. Okay. Well, this was definitely one of the more interesting 5-year prospect rebuilds we've done so far. I don't know. There was just, I mean, what were the final numbers from? I mean, there wasn't really anything better about Rob Dillingham when I was starting him versus when I was having him come off the bench. So it's good to see that some of the shooting splits eventually got a little bit better. I mean, he was a 41% three-point shooter from last year, but I mean, he scored 7 points a game. So, I mean, I know scoring's not everything, but it's not like he's tearing it up in the assist department or anything. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not obviously listening to 2K. It was just weird. I think Rob Dillingham's going to be very, very good. It was just one of those weird rebuilds. And maybe the prospect or player mold is built incorrectly, but I don't really know. It's just 2K doing their thing. So I enjoyed this one still. Of course, it was good to get a nice championship after all the frustrating 4 years that we had to go through. And this was overall a pretty interesting rebuild, to say the least. So let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.